Fun trivia as well, actually.
Alright.
I know how much you love fun facts here, Stormless. Barton is rank 9 for the Soviets, and Shadowwada is rank 20.
Oh, really?
Yeah, courtesy of Mr. Archonhawk here. We slide discreet messages. So this is technically favoring Barton in terms of their ranks in this particular matchup. Going for the tier 1 immediately, I feel a penal spam.
Yeah, this is a nice one. This may be going into that kind of lend-lease that you were talking about. It may be going to guard mode, so the guards fit this very, very well. I'm interested to see what is going to happen here. Shadowwada, of course, he is going for the MG. He's already got his tier 1 up, so we expect maybe to see a squad of Grenadiers, and then maybe a little bit open to another squad of Grenadiers or a mortar. There's a lot of interesting combinations for the Oster at the moment, I think, to open with. Oh yes, I think I just see what you're talking about.
A little bit delayed response there, but the insta-sniper here from Barton, and this tells us one thing. This tells us that Barton is obviously going left side. There is no way he would send this sniper to the right side. It'll get flanked, it'll get ambushed, it'll get caught out of position way too easily. It'll have a hard time firing through the shot blockers, so especially because the engineers are capping left. The sniper on the left side is going to be incredibly powerful here. It will make it a little bit harder for him to rotate to the right side VP. Going for the M3 scout car as well. Man, this is a crazy opener for Barton.
Yeah, I think he's going to want to try and get really under Shadowwada's skin. That's one of the things is, while we're talking about players that we really know in tournaments, you know, there's a psychology to this game, and you know, I think Barton is just the person to get under Shadowwada's skin, and hopefully that will force him to make some mistakes. And this can be a pretty punishing loadout if Barton plays it correctly, especially against the 4-man squads. There are support weapons on the field too, so Sniper has a lot of opportunities to do some good damage here.
So with the sniper revealed, it's a possible reveal for the M3. So the vulnerable thing for Shadowwada is the MG42. If this MG42 is in one of those middle houses, and there's the clown car with the flamer that comes in and just flushes it out, it can get a very quick wipe on that, especially when you can steal that with the engineers to evacuate from the M3. So maybe we'll see a Grenadier squad hover around. Also, if Shadowwada is paying attention, he can probably hear the M3 through the fog of war. It's a pretty noisy engine, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does. He has Grenadiers nearby, and has revealed the M3. Gets a fair bit of damage as well, so he has to actually repair that. So I feel like maybe Barton should have held onto the M3, as in don't reveal it, until he has the flamer in the scout car, and then reveals it with a really nice flank and tries to just go after a lone squad, or particularly the MG42. Because now that's been revealed, I think we'll see Shadowwada not overextend and not keep lone squads, say the MG42 in the house.
Yeah, I mean, I actually don't think this is a particularly strong opening game from Barton. I think had Shadowwada gone for the left side, it could have been very, very effective. He probably could have displaced him very easily with the sniper scout car combination. But actually, it's allowed Shadowwada to take a pretty important building on Barton's side of the map. Shadow's going to be able to sit on 2 VPs, fuel and munitions, plus the rest of his territory, and really build up into a nice kind of early to mid game here now. So I think the pressure right now is actually on Barton to come up with something, and really like this from Shadowwada. He's hopping out of the house so that he doesn't feel the wrath of Barton's sniper, constantly just getting in to check on the location of those snipers. And good play from Shadow so far, I think.
He's playing it smart. He's not poking, he's not overextending, he's just chilling. He has the right side, he has more points, including the 2 VPs, so for him, all he needs to do is just chill and get a Panzer IV. He doesn't need to overextend. I mean, even a 222 is a great counter to both the M3 and the sniper. So we may see that out. Barton perhaps going for some guards soon. Flamer, very quick flamer actually. I don't know why he went for the flamer on the Pioneer. Oh, the Faust actually connected here. I doubt there'll be any follow-up for the kill, but it will certainly slow the M3 down.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really important Faust as well, because getting the M3 out of that engagement makes it a lot easier for him to deal with this kind of push that's coming around the back towards his base and then to the right side of the map. And I think if he can hold Barton off here for a while, again, he's just got really good chances of teching. Nice to see that the Pioneers here are like just very equally trading with this penal battalion. Not what you'd particularly expect there.
It's entirely because of spacing. The Penals were very clumped up, so the Flamer AoE was pretty much targeting the entire squad, whereas the Pioneers were the opposite. They were very, very spaced out, and once again, the clumping of the Grenadiers does a lot of damage. So when you're versing Flamers, it's all about spacing out and not clumping, and these Penals getting dangerously low here. They will retreat, and the M3 still has a damaged engine, so it's crawling away. It was a nice attempted flank there from Shadowwada to get that secondary Faust off, but the M3 survives. Pioneers as well almost dying. So Grenadiers going in now. Shadowwada is throwing Grain Squad after Grain Squad, trying to find this Faust, and he may find it here, but the Sniper is going to be picking away. The M3 as well has pretty good damage with that machine gun, even the Engineers. So maybe a little bit too much manpower bleed here. Shadowwada looking to finish that M3 off, but wasn't able to do so.
Very interesting commander pick there. Barton went straight into mechanized, which I wasn't expecting. I thought it was going to be guard motor, but in fact he is going to go for the ISU, which could really work on the left side of this map. My issues with it, of course, are just on the right side. I just think there's elevation issues that it has when trying to take shots here and there. But of course he wants the guards. I think he realizes Shadow's having a really good early game. Guards are really going to help to stunt that if he does decide to go for the scout car. Battle phase 1 has already been teched, so that is a possibility for sure.
I suppose it depends on the direction. If you actually look at the angle of it, the elevation, it's west to east. So the ISU firing from the south to the north probably won't have any issues. But it's if the ISU tries to fire on the side, that's when you'll start having problems with that. As for the left side, I don't know. I haven't really seen the ISU on this map, so I can't comment on that. But I definitely do see the elevation from the south-north angle, you know, particularly near the road in the middle next to the fuel point and the cutoff.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting choice, and you know what you're saying actually about firing east to west, it actually benefits Shadowwada in a sense because you know he's got that side on complete lockdown at the moment. Everything he's doing is just buying so much time off of Barton, but you know we know what Barton's like. Barton will probably be able to fix this.
Okay,
we
this
see
is
a
dangerous.
Nice push from the scout car going in to try and burn the MG42 out of this building will force Shadowwada to retreat from there. Could this be a situation where Barton's found a way of denying and capping the right side?
That was a big miss micro there from the M3. I don't know why he went sideways. If he actually chased it down, he may have wiped it, especially with the penals there. It would have been very easy for him to steal that one. Grenadier's going to be in a bit of trouble as well. The penal's going for the cutoff rather than trying to get the wipe on the Grenadiers. But if they can hold the house, it's a bit harder to clear out the house. I suppose that's why Shadowwada went for that early flamer. Because if you lose that cutoff and the house there and you don't have a flamer, it is really hard to flush out that garrison. So I suppose by having that flamer, it prevented that from ever becoming a problem.
I just think that was a really good play there from Barton. It's exactly kind of what we expect to see from him, though. Really, really good. It's going to be difficult for Shadow to even get these buildings back now with the penal battalions there. Just very interesting. And he went straight for that cutoff point as well, denying all resources to Shadowwada when he denied that territory. So it's really, really good, well thought out strategy there.
Something that's interesting to see is Shadowwada didn't go for his 222. Even with the guards, I feel like it's probably worth going the 222. It can force away the penals, the sniper, and the M3 especially. So you can play around the guards unless they button you, and then even then, as long as you're at max range, you're not going to lose the 222 most likely. And it forces the Soviets to clump up a little bit more when trying to play around that. Another Faust comes through onto the M3. There's been a lot of Fausts, but no follow-up. So the M3 has been doing a fair bit of munitions drain, I suppose, but the thing is with getting a Faust off, just like any other snare, it actually gives you a lot of spike and veterancy when you hit that.
I mean, the 222, he's actually going for the half-track here instead of the 222. So I'm guessing that mainly he's just going to want to increase his field presence as another way of dealing with this. He hasn't gone for a commander pick yet, so clearly he's not in such a bad position where he feels he's going to be having to rely on like mobile defense tactics. But however, I think this would be a really good solution for him. You know, if he doesn't upgrade it, he's constantly able to get Flamers and Grenadiers just dealing constant damage. I think that will actually wear Barton down quite quickly. Really nice way of dealing with the sniper as well. He's able to push and reinforce at the same time, which should be a really beneficial way of getting that sniper off the field. But
he might actually
this
go
is a very
flame
fragile.
projectors.
I think Yeah, I kind of don't like that though. Not with 2 guard squads on the field. I think you get buttoned by one, and you're going to lose that if you get them in the wrong position. And when you're coming up against such a strong player like Barton, I think that's such a huge risk.
Yeah, good point. Especially if you put the guards in the M3. Okay, double Faust here for sure. If this isn't a dead M3, no, even one Faust was all that was required to kill that M3. It finally goes down, but it's had a fantastic impact so far. We can see Barton now pretty much has the entire map, but for the most part, Shadowwada did, so it's hard to say who's ahead in the field department. Having a look at the base of Barton, he has his tier 3, very late though, mind you. He has 100 fuel in the bank, so that T70 could have already been here, and that T70 is going to be able to force the half-track away. He can force squads away. So Shadowwada's in a bit of an iffy spot because he currently has 0 anti-tank, doesn't have a pack, doesn't have any P-Grens, he doesn't have Battle Phase 2, so he's going to need to do something about this.
I mean, it's a difficult one on teching. I think the big thing for him right now is actually just getting control of that territory. And I think that is something he can actually do just on Battle Phase 1, because he's going to be able to get his AT out. He still has access to indirect fire options. He can suppress the infantry that comes in. I think map control is going to be the big thing. And when he actually gets into a position where he feels he can just control this side again, I think you'll see him sit there and kind of wait for it.
Probably
and actually that's what I've seen. It's what I've seen him do on this map when I've seen him play online. Really, is he does just like to dominate this area where the wall is, and really just take advantage of all the sight blockers and other areas that are kind of inaccessible that Barton will really have to work to get around.
I'm expecting to see a Puma the moment the T70 is revealed, and I'm pretty sure the only reason why Shadowwada hasn't gone for that is because he sees the guards, so it could actually be guard motor. In which case, you might skip the T70 entirely and go straight for the Tier 4. And if that's the case, then you don't want to go a Puma. So I think Shadowwada's only not going a Puma in case it's actually the Tier 4 rush. That being said, it could be the Stug E as well, considering that he's already at 7 command points. And it's actually not often you see that. Normally the T70 comes out well before the 7 command points for the Stug E.
Well, time to see if this T70
is
going
Puma.
to do any damage. I mean, yeah, there we go. You were dead on with that call. It looks like he managed to get a Faust connected. Will he be able to close in with these Grenadiers? He does have the munitions for another 2 Fausts. Is he going to risk it past the guards? It doesn't look like he's going to do that. Sensible decision, I think. Really needs to work on the AT now. And as you say, Puma definitely incoming. So... yeah, I mean, it's a funny one as well, because really that T70 is quite late. And, you know, if we'd have just seen an AT gun at any point, I don't think he'd have needed to reach for the Puma. As you say, though, it's a popular choice. People do use it well. I just have worries about when you use the Puma and, you know, and it doesn't go well, where do you leave yourself? Because you've already spent a significant part of fuel that Oster just doesn't get on this light vehicle. And it will affect your attacking.
Especially with how blobbed up Shadowwada is, because he has the half track, because it's Angoville where one side has both VPs. You can blob up like that, and when you're blobbing, then you're not as vulnerable to the T70, though the MG could go down to the guards. Oh, he was relying on the half track reinforce, but it was just too much damage from the guards, and there's actually 2 guards here, so this Puma has to be very careful. It will have the range advantage over the T70, but that penal squad in the house with a flamer, this is a really bad spot here for Shadowwada. All his squads are so low, and he's trying to play the reinforced game, but the DPS might be too much here. The Vet 3 Pyos, they don't gun, they actually drop the Flamer as well. Could be a double Flamer on the penal squad. He's Uraring onto it.
Yeah, this really isn't working, and also the reinforcements hampering his manpower down all the time. He's just having to hit the reinforce button constantly. Now the Vet 3 penal battalions come in, a satchel charges in. Even the retreat here is going to be dangerous.
Nice.
Very, very lucky escape. Very lucky escape.
MG on the ground. Oh, the guards don't actually cap that one. Probably couldn't have survived capping that one. Yeah, Shadowwada lost 2 squads because he underestimated the damage of Barton. He thought, it's fine, bro. I have the reinforce from the half-track. I don't have to retreat. I can keep my field presence. But no, he actually didn't. And as a result, that's some very punishing wipes. Look at these vehicles. They're so weak, particularly the Puma, and he's out of repairs. He can't even afford repairs because he's constantly reinforcing his Grens.
Yeah, this is a difficult one as well. SU-76 is going to be breaking down this
Oh.
wall. Oh, an instant kill on the Puma. Huge loss for Shadowwada there. This is going downhill very, very quickly.
Grenadier squad barely gets out of this one, so Shadowwada's in a rough spot now. With the Puma down, he's going to have to rebuild that one. And the half-track has to be so careful about that. And the problem with this half-track is it's just so much manpower that he's reinforcing instead of building, say, a pack or building another Puma.
I think that is one of the really big downsides of the reinforcement half-track. You know, he hasn't even gone really with the upgrades there. He's got one squad of LMGs out. I think he could have benefited from another playing against guards the way he has been. You know, maybe it would have allowed him to not lose so many units, because really the standard rifles are just not giving good trade-offs against the upgraded guards and the penal battalions, which are just making health issues, you know, even more of a problem. Shadowwada not moving his half-track here. He surrenders. That was a quick game.
Getting a little bit flustered there. That was a tense game. You are certainly right, though, is how do you expect to trade against guards if you don't have LMGs? Even when you have LMGs, it's still generally in the guards' advantage as they are a more expensive squad.